All right, mathematicians, Mr. Cartwright here, ready to do homework 310. If you haven't put your name on this, go ahead and do that right now. And let's begin. So here's a little family note, and it's for parents to think about when your child is working with decimals. Encourage him or her to think about ways to write money. So this is called dollars and cents notation. For example, 7/100ths is 7 cents, and 9/100ths is 9 cents, and so on and so on. So when we're thinking about tenths and hundredths, a good way to think about that is money. So write the decimal numbers that represent the shaded part in each diagram. So if we're looking at number 1, we have 5 columns of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7 here in this last column. So that would be 57 hundredths, and it's written like this because we already have the word hundredths here, so we're not going to write that as a decimal. So we're just going to write 57 hundredths. So that would be 5 tenths, and you can see that by the columns here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are 5 tenths, and then 7 hundredths. If we're looking at number 2, you'll notice that there are 7 columns shaded in. So that would be 70 hundredths, which is 7 tenths and no extra hundredths. So that's how you would write that. When you're looking here, you'll notice that there are 4 hundredths shaded in. That means there are 0 tenths because there's not a tenth, a full tenth colored in, and 4 hundredths. So now down here, they're asking you to write the words as decimal numbers. So 23 hundredths would be 0.23. That's 23 hundredths. 8 and 4 tenths. And when you see the word and, that's a clue that you need to have the decimal point there. So it's 8 and 4 tenths. So when you see the word and, that's a clue that you need to put a decimal point. So here we go, 30 and 20 hundredths. So again, you're seeing 30 and that word and, which represents a decimal, 20 hundredths. So you need a 2 here and the 0 for the placeholder because this will show that it's in the hundredths place. Because if you just did 30.2, that would be 30 and 2 tenths. So you need to put that placeholder there. 5 hundredths. So you don't have any whole numbers, so it's 0.05. So a common mistake is to write 0.5, but really you got to add this placeholder here because we're talking hundredths. Continue each pattern. Well, if you're looking at number 8, we're counting by tenths, so it's 1 tenth, 2 tenths, 3 tenths. So you're just going to continue on that pattern. 4 tenths, 5 tenths, 6 tenths, 7 tenths, 8 tenths, and 9 tenths. For number 9, you're counting by hundredths. You got 1/100th, 200 hundredths, and 3 hundredths. So you're going to go 0.04 for 4 hundredths. Don't forget that placeholder because, again, we're counting by hundredths. 0.05 for 5 hundredths, 6 hundredths, 7 hundredths, 8 hundredths, and 9 hundredths. All right, so for 10, 11, and 12, we're being asked to round. So I'm going to do 10 and 11. I'm going to have you do 12 on your own. But for 10, we're being asked to round 7,604 to the nearest thousand. So I rewrote it here on another paper. So I know that the number we're rounding to, I'm going to underline it and call that my stop sign. And that shows us where we need to stop and think about that. So we're going to stop at the 7. 6 here is the boss. He's the guy in charge. He's going to tell the 7 what to do, either to round up or stay the same. So since it's a 6, we know that it's 5 or above. Give it a shove. So we're going to give that 7 a shove, make it an 8. And then after our stop sign, everything turns into zeros. So that 6 becomes a 0, so that 0 is a 0, and then the 4 becomes a 0. So that means that when you round 7,604 to the nearest thousand, that's 8,000. So I'm going to just transfer my answer over here. 8,000. So now we're being asked to round 46,099 to the nearest thousand. So I'm going to put my stop sign under the thousandths place because that's what we're being asked to round to. So I'm going to rewrite my 4. I'm going to stop at the 6. And now the place value after that is our boss. It's going to tell the 6 what to do. So since it's below, you're going to leave the 6 the same. So you're going to just put the 6, leave it the same. Then everything after the stop sign becomes 0. So that 0 becomes a 0. This 9 becomes a 0. And that 9 becomes a 0. So our answer for that is 46,000. So I'm going to transfer my answer over. 46,000. Okay, so go ahead and do 12 on your own. You're being asked to round 8,500,976 3 ways. So to the nearest 1,000, to the nearest 100,000, and to the nearest million. All right, good luck with that. And if you have questions, you can always come and see me. And hope this was helpful.